On behalf of Elita Socio Cultural Club and SRG School of Vedanta, I welcome you all. My volunteers are Yuva, Shiv, and Raghav, and Narayan is yet to talk. And the facilitator of the program is Jayam Kedi, Soumya Rangarajan, and the speaker is revered Dr. Usha Narasimhan. We welcome you all, those who are present here, and also those who are online. We welcome you all. Over to Soumya. Soumya, to speak about today's. Madam, over to you. Thank you. You can sit here. I don't know anyone. Okay. Let's start the program.
श्रीनिवासयति श्रेष्ठदया पात्रम् गुणान्वितः कौशिको अनन्तरङ्गार्यः चिरं विजयतां भुवि यस्तात्मीयभरं वरप्रदगुरौ वैराग्यभाग्यो ददौ वेदान्तामृतसारवन्तम् अनघात् श्रीश्रीनिवासात् गुरोः श्रीशैलाम्बयकौस्तुभस्य तनयम् श्रेयो निधे श्रीनिधे वन्दे साधुकटाक्षकेलिनिलयम् श्रीकृष्णसदेशिकम् श्रीनारायणयोगीन्द्रवरदार्यकृपाश्रयम् रङ्गेशपादविनतम् श्रीनिवासमुनिं भजे श्रीवासरङ्गपरकालमुनित्रयाप्त लक्ष्मात्मरक्षणयति त्वयुगागमान्तम् आचार्यभक्तिपरिपूतम् अनर्घशीलम् गोपालदेशिकमुनिं आश्रयामः श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि रामानुजदया पात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम् ஸ்ரீரங்கதோப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் ஆருங்கை சொன்ன பழமொழி உள்ளும் ஓருங்குதானே அவையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்க வானேர கோமளம் வாழ்வு லக்ஷ்மீநாத சமாரம்பாம் நாதயாமுனமத்யமாம் அஸ்மதாச்சாரிய பர்யந்తం वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्म व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धो रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य न कुलपते वकुलाभिरामम् श्रीमद्ददन्त्रियुगणम् प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसार कुलशेखर योगिवागा भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् गुरुमुखमनदीत्य रावेदानशेषान् नरपतिपरिक्लुप्तं शुल्कमादातु कामः श्वशुरममरवन्द्यं रङ्गनाथस्य साक्षात् निजकुलतिलकं तं विष्णुचित्तं नमामि நின்னார் தடமதில் சூழ் வில்லிபுத்தூர் என்றொருவார் சொன்னார் கழற்கமலம் சூடினோர் உன்னால் கிழியறுத்தான் என்றுரைத்தோர் கீழ்மையணி சேரும் வழி அறத்தோர் நெஞ்சமே வந்து பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம் மல்லாண்ட பின்தோள் மணிவண்ணா உன் சேவடி செவ்வி திருக்காப்பு அடியோமோடும் இன்னோடும் பிரிவின்றி ஆயிரம் பல்லாண்டு வடிவாயினம் பலமார்பனில் வாழ்கின்ற மங்கையும் பல்லாண்டு வடிவார் ஜோதி வலத்துறையும் சுடராழியும் பல்லாண்டு படைப்போர் முழங்கும் அப்பாஞ்சஜன்யமும் பல்லாண்டே. ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரண். எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரண். தேசிகர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். Praying to the Acharyas, Alvars, and praying for their grace to be on us so that we can fully experience the transcendental as we step into this second day of experiencing the Alvars. We are stepping into a 7-day series, of which today is the second day. And here we are going to learn the fundamentals of Vedanta through the life and teachings of Alvars. We have seen in the previous week that our life is not successful if we have not made an attempt to understand and experience the transcendental. We have understood this last week. We have also taken it on us that we will put efforts previous week to try and experience our most beloved Lord. We understood last week God is not a punisher like most people think. God is not also one who exhibits his sarvajnata, almighty knowledge. He is a very, very simple and very loving person who wants to capture our hearts. That is the Lord. He condescends to come down to our level so much that he gets tired by Yashoda. He gets even beaten by her and he enjoys it. This is the Almighty Alvars have presented to us. Namalvar, when he imagined the sea, he went into moksha for 6 months. He was unconscious. Like this, they have acknowledged that the Lord is Almighty, but at the same time, he is all out to capture our hearts by his simplicity and by his love for us. This is what we saw last week. This might have been a revelation for you. So I'm repeating it. And how you experienced it last week, you could share for a couple of minutes. If you have anything to share after you try to experience what was taught last week, This is the process we will follow. The first few minutes will be feedback from you on how you experience what you learned last week. And sometimes I get amazing experiences revealed by the participants. So if you are not in a state of mind to share today, I will share with you some experiences of other participants. Next week, you can come ready with your experiences. But I insist in my own way that knowledge has to be practiced. Like Rajaji says, if you do not practice knowledge, it becomes tinsel. This is the introduction he gives to MS Subbulakshmi's, not Vishnu Sahasranam, Adi Shankaracharya's Bhajagovind. He says, knowledge is tinsel if there is no devotion. Therefore, unless you experience the Lord and develop unconditional love for Him, all the knowledge that I'm going to share with you will become useless. So, as a driver for that, we will have a couple of minutes of discussions on how you could experience what was shared with you in the previous week. This is how we begin every week. I guess you're all serious students. The first day was only awareness. So after that, I think this is a big number. Lord Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Vasudeva Sarvam Vidi Sa Mahatmanaha Sudurlabhaha. Durlabha is difficult to get. Not just Durlabha, Sudurlabha, very difficult to get. To find a person for whom Vasudeva is everything is very difficult to find on this earth, which is oriented towards materialism. But it is not difficult to practice. That is what I want to assure you. Somehow we have a block that this is only for people who are very old. This is only for people who are very advanced in thinking. It is not like that. In fact, the God has presented himself to simple terms like the gopis. They say gopis did not know their left hand and right hand. Even now, if you look at the lectures from Vrindavan, so he says, Mere Dakshin Bhag, Dakshin, Vam Bhag. He says, then he is not sure whether it is left side or right side, the speaker. And immediately I remember in our tradition, we say the gopis are people who don't know their left hand and right hand. In the sense, they are very simple people. And Krishna was their most favorite and they were Krishna's most favorite. So you see, philosophy is not an academic exercise. It's a question of owning your emotions and then pouring it out to the Lord and receiving his emotions and continuing a relationship like this with him throughout. That's all it is. For that, sometimes knowledge even comes in as a hindrance. If you are too brilliant, then your mind does not become very emotional. Sometimes emotion defies knowledge. Sometimes. So like that, when the heart is ruling, the mind has to keep quiet. There are two things, the mind and the heart. The mind is logical. The heart is emotional. So sometimes you have to let your heart rule. It's only when the heart rules that you can approach the Lord. With all this in mind, I will just share with you an experience which one of our students came back and told me when we did our normal spiritual intelligence classes after the first class. And most of the people come back with a lot of experiences. But this particular experience of that lady, I cannot forget for a long time. So I had told her, God is very loving, God is almighty, God is everywhere, He will take care of you, don't worry. So she said her daughter was going for the summer class for swimming. And she was very scared about swimming. So she didn't want to send her. But as usual, the kids, they don't agree. So she said, I have to go. So she said, okay, oh my God, please pray something happens that swimming class gets cancelled. But anyway, she took her to the swimming class and she remembered what I had told her. If you pray, and he will never let you down. So she was praying that the swimming class or the tutor doesn't come or the summer classes get cancelled. Nothing of that sort happened. She registered in the course and then she also went for the class. And then she said, I was waiting, like she was kind of anxious. And then I was waiting beside the swimming pool to see what will happen as they let my child into the pool. And then, to her greatest surprise, when that, and she was praying to God, hope there is no swimming class, hope this something happens. Still hope she doesn't decide to continue with the course. And that girl, she got in with that float. And just like her mother, I think she's also got anxiety. The moment she got into the water, it was very cold. She said, I'm not doing this. And she came off. So she said, till then, God kept me so tense. I was just wondering how he's going to stop this girl. And when she got into the ice cold water, she said, Amma, I'm not doing it. It's too cold for me and I'm scared. So she said, I just took her. This is the first opportunity and came back home. Now, I'm not saying that you should not go swimming. But what I'm saying is when you're desperate for something and you pray out to him, he takes you on a long course like this. And you keep on, waiting when he is going to interfere. And finally, he does interfere. Even if it is not for your good, but if you go on insisting, he will do it for you. This is our personal experience. Sometimes we ask for things which are not good for us. That's why we always say don't ask. But we can't help asking, we ask. Okay. So we do ask over a period of time, you stop asking when you have complete faith in him. But when you initially ask, he will play around with you. You can see how much he played with her. He took her to the class, he registered, paid the money, and then everything, put the swimming dress, got into the water. Until then, God did not accede to her request. Finally, after getting into the water, this girl came back. Next day in our weekly meeting, she came and told me, now I'm very sure God will not let me down. Because after going through so much, he finally, finally attended to my request. So, like this, in each of the classes that we do, very simple manner, you can feel the presence of God. And all people have begun only like this, in a very simple manner, feeling the presence of God. And they got on to complexities which we are going to see today. So I would request that in our day-to-day life, in a very keen manner, if you begin to observe the role of God, you will be connecting with him every moment. This every student of our school has realized, and they come back and tell us, yes, very true. There's one person who's during his COVID times, his mixie got prepared. And I told him, I say Varada, Varada. So he had his favorite. He said Krishna, Krishna. He remembered me telling, whenever I lose my specs, I say Varada, Varada. And I get it back. And even Raghavan's daughter was telling, she says, Sudarshana Archakam, and she gets it back. And this man also, this boy from Kashmir, he Krishna, and all of a sudden his mixie started working. So he is wondering where I will go in this COVID times where this lockdown and my mixie is not working. He was from Kashmir. He had joined our Kalakshepam course. He had done Samashranam, Varanyasam. He had joined our Kalakshepam course. So the point I'm trying to say is whatever knowledge we share is very, very much practicable, and we have to practice it in small ways also. We begin, but it will really, really take us a long way and give us a lot of confidence. Yes, there is a transcendental force which is existing all around. It's only when you yourself feel it that you will have that confidence. No amount of reading will give about that confidence. And we can't directly go to meditation and all. It is very high level stuff. We can't even sit in one place. Whatever yogasanas are practiced today are meant for you to sit in one place. That is the beginning. For 3 hours or 4 hours, you have to sit in one place, switch off from the world and think of the Almighty. It is almost impossible in Kali Yuga. So what is possible is Nama Japa and this Karma Yoga, where in everything you do, you observe the hand of God. Okay? So next week, Do come and tell me how you practiced this, that in your day-to-day life you felt the hand of Lord. Now, we go ahead with today's discussion on Alvars. Alvars are 12 in number. The first slide talks of the Alvars we are going to discuss today. Mudal Moon Alvar, the first three Alvars. They are the Poigai Alvar, Pudattalvar, and Peyalvar. And after them is Tirumalisai Alvar. Now, the Alvars, the date of the Alvars is told to be from end of Dwapara Yuga to the beginning of Kali Yuga. That's what you can see this chart wonderfully prepared by Soumya, which says from 4200 BC. So now we are 2024 plus 4000 means around 6400 years ago. Kali Yuga started 5500 years ago. This Alvars incarnated. They are not born, incarnated, because they are the Amshas of the Lord. Poigai Alvar is the Lord's sword, Nandaka, reborn. They are all there in Sri Vaikuntham. They come here in order to impart to us the realities of this world. That's why they come here. So, Poigai Alvar is the sword, and then Pudattalvar is the mace of the Lord, reborn, and Peyalvar is the Shankha, and Tirumalisai Alvar is the Chakra of the Lord. These are all incarnations. These are not like us. We take on a body on account of karma, whereas those in Vaikuntha, like Adisesha, like that, they come here in order to educate us. Likewise, these are come. They are different from acharyas in the sense that they don't come here to preach. They simply experience the Lord and let out songs, like we sing in the bathroom. When we experience joy, we just let ourselves out, right? It is just like that, exactly like that. They experience the Lord, they see Him, and let themselves out. And then after that, they keep singing the song again and again. You can also try that. You can compose bhajans. After that, you will be singing those bhajans all day. Maybe someone wrote it down, their students, and that's how we have got it today. Not that they sat in one place and wrote to teach us. That is the difference between Alvars and Acharyas. Acharyas sit with a purpose like me and try to educate. Page down words, no? Yeah. Enter. So, so you see that the right. Thank you. So we see that the three Alvars were born in 4200 BC, and they were born in different places. Poigai Alvar was born in a Pushkarini near Kanchipuram. There is a temple called Yathoktakari Perpal. Whatever you say, he will do. That is the name of God Himself. Why? We will see today. Yatha Ukta Kari. Whatever you say, He will do. And God is so loving. See, whatever you say, He will do. That is the name of God. And then in front of that temple, there is a Pushkarini pond. In that, Poigai Alvar was born in a flower. He's called Ayo Nija, born on his own. They don't take birth like us through Garbhavasa. Garbhavasa is called Naraka. Naraka. That is only Garbhavasa. We have forgotten everything. We got bitten by worms all over. We stayed in filth inside. It is so terrible, Garbhavasa. That is called Kumbhi Vaka Naraka. You should try to avoid getting back into Garbhavasa. Alvars have no Garbhavasa. They are Ayurijas. He was born in a flower. So also Pudattalvar and Peyalvar. Pudattalvar was born in Mahabalipuram, and Peyalvar was born now what is called Mylapore in Chennai. That time, that whole area was a forest. It was called Brinda Aranyaka Kshetra. Brinda Aranyaka Kshetra. That whole area from Chennai to Tiruvallur, that such a big area was called Brinda Aranyaka Kshetra. And on the banks of this Pushkarini, which you see in Mylapore, near Kapaleshwara temple, there is Madhava Perumal temple. There they say that Peyalvar was incarnate. On a flower, he incarnated. It so happened that they all were born on consecutive days. It's so beautiful. The connection is like that. But they were on their own. And Poigai Alvar is called Poigai because he was Pushkarni. Poigai means Pushkar. He's born in a Sarovara. And Pudattalvar, Bhutam means what? Ghost. He had so much Atma Jnana, he didn't care for his body. And so he became disheveled and everything. So he looked like a Buddha. So he's called Pudattalvar. Peyalvar used to sing in ecstasy about the Lord. Okay? They say, Pei Madri Padre. Like, you just sing, with all your loud voice like that. So he got the name Peyalvar. They were all so involved with God, They can see the intensity of devotion so high. That's why they got these names, Peyalvar, Pudattalvar, and Poigai Alvar. And the best part is they never were involved in samsara. They always had Divya Jnana. They were born with Divya Jnana. Now we are trying to absorb it little by little. They already had the knowledge of the realities even as they were born. Now comes the best part. It so happened that God wanted to get them all together, and then he wanted to see the magic of all three getting together, what happens. On one rainy night in Tirkovilur, the Brahmotsavam was going on. All these Alvars were attending the Brahmotsavam. At that time, it was raining heavily. So Poigai Alvar goes to a house, and in the corridor of the house, he takes shelter. In those days, they used to have a raidy corridor in the house, which used to be outside, for people to come and take rest. Deshantaris. We go to villages, there'll be a house, and outside there'll be what's called Thinnai in Tamil, where anybody can come and sit there. We should have one such thing. The minimum courtesy you can offer to the general public. It's finding very difficult to walk. It's very sunny. You can take some rest in your house, like that. So everybody had that place. The Poigai Alvar was sitting there. Then Pudattalvar came and said, "Can I sit?" He said, "Okay. One person can sleep, two people can sit. Come and sit with me." Then Peyalvar comes. He also comes. He says, "Okay, two people can sit, three people can stand. Let us stand." So they all stood because it was raining heavily, lightning, thunder, and everything. So God thought this is the best time. What he did was he squeezed himself between these three. These three were standing under the shade, but he started pushing from in between them. So these Alvars, who is this pushing from in between me? Huh? From then they all went into the yogic trance, and then we saw it was none other than that. He presented himself to them, and when they saw him, they all sang 100 pasurams each, and not just pasurams. They're called Andadi. That is the first pasurams end will be the beginning of the next pasuram. Just imagine, all of a sudden you are able to sing like that. Divine creation only. They definitely didn't put their mind to it. It poured out of them and the form of Andadi. That is what we call as Modal and Tiruvandadi, Irandam Tiruvandadi, Moonram Tiruvandadi. These are the songs which are not set to music. Others are set to music. Now, we will just take a couple of pasurams from these. We will take a couple of pasurams from these, and then we will understand the meaning. In fact, we'll take only one of Poigai Alvar, one of Pudattalvar, one of Peyalvar, and try to understand what they are teaching. Now, if you go to this slide, it says Mudal Tiruvandadi of Poigai Alvar, the first pastoral. This talks of Poigai Alvar. He says, Kaitai se Kolil Sur, Kachi Nagar, Vandu Ditta, Poigai Piran, Kavingar Perere Vayattu, Adiyavargal Vaal, Arum Tamil, Notrandari, Padi Vilanga Seidan, Parindu. This talks about Poigai Alvar. He was a bear. Eru means ox. You call a person ox, they call you ox, how do you feel? You get offended. Those days, poets were called ox, lions. Kavitarkika Simha, he was called. Means ox in the Vedic literature, God also, Vishnu is called ox. Those days, ox was the most powerful domestic animal. It was used for plowing fields and all that. So, Ere means ox. He was a big, very big Ere. Amongst poets, Poigai Alvar was a very big Ere. And where was he born? In the beautiful Kachi Nagar. Kaitai se full of flowers. See, Alvars have not enjoyed God alone. In the midst of nature, they have enjoyed God. You never, if you try to enjoy God alone, he doesn't like it. Whenever he comes to you, he comes with a whole lot of people. Say, Krishna, you come alone to me. No, he'll come along with all the gopis. He'll come with the gopas. If you have a broad mind to experience God. So, when God comes, he comes along with beautiful nature, along beautiful flowers, streams, and there is Thai is a particular flower. I'll not go into the details. Each pasaram has got poetic beauty, highest order. Thai is one of the beautiful flowers which is found in Kanchipuram. Varadaraja Perumal holds it like that. Anyway, such a Kanchipuram, which is full of pools, with beautiful gardens, flowers, and everything. In that Poigai, the ox-like Kan was born. And what did he do? Arum Tamil Nutrandari Padi Vilanga, he gave us 100 pasurams, which are Andadis. And what did he do after giving that? Adiyavargal Vaada, he told people, devotees, how to live an uplifted life. Vaada. See, if you are living here now, you are simply living. If you are living in the transcendental world, you are uplifted. You are living an uplifted life. What is the difference? You are living here, you will have joys and sorrows. Now, if you go to school, the teacher will say, where's your homework? Come on, come on. And then you start getting scared. Then after the teacher goes away, then some friend will say, wow, your dress is so nice, your pen is so nice. Then you feel good. Huh? So like this, in this world, you're constantly being bombarded by joys and sorrows. Whoever it is, big person, small person. This world is called Dvandva. Everything comes in pairs. There is morning, there is night. There is summer, there is winter. You can't escape it. It's a world of Dvandva. If someone says, I'm always very happy, then they are lying. Because it's a world of Dvandva. Now, how to get out of this joys and sorrows? That is called Vada. That is called living an uplifted life. You learn to understand these joys and sorrows are just like in a drama. If someone is crying in the drama, will you cry? He's just simply crying. After something, he'll be all right. It's just like that. Once you understand this is all just a drama. And if you are crying yourself, you will tell yourself, sometime you will be all right. So, joys and sorrows will not affect you when you live an uplifted life. That is called Varkai. And that time you will be peaceful. After you are peaceful, you will enter a stage where you will be able to see the Almighty everywhere, in everything, and then it will be just bliss. Like the gopis enjoyed Krishna's pranks, you will enjoy God's pranks with you every moment. And it will be like Rasa Krida every moment. Like that, you will be blissful. That is called Vada. This is what Alvars have taught us. Don't get affected by joys and sorrows. Live an uplifted life of peace. Above that, live in bliss. Huh? So, Adiyavar Valvada, or the devotees, for that basically you should have some bhakti towards God. Otherwise, you would not have come here at all. Right. So that was, you should be a Adiyavar. Yes, I believe in God. Then he will teach you the technology for not being affected by joys and sorrows, living peacefully and then living blissfully. This is what the Alvars taught. Adiyavar Valvada Aruntamil Nutranradi Padi Vilanga. Vilanga means clearly explain. Huh? He explained and he also made sure you practice how the same thought he will tell 100 times in different ways. That's all. That's how poetry affects a person. Same thought. He will say that you have, I lived a very happy life. I'm not bothered about chocolates. I'm not bothered about insults. But I'm always seeing the lovely Lord in front of me. That'll be one positive. Like this, he will go on 100 times. And if you read 100 times like that, you'll feel okay. I should not bother about joys and sorrows. I should always think of the transcendent. See, in this manner, the poets influence us in different ways of what the main point that they want to tell us. The main point the Alvars want to tell us: don't bother about your joys and sorrows. Once you stop getting affected by them, you will lead a peaceful life, and then you will start experiencing the transcendence. This is what we are also trying to do in this 7 days, which we are going to continuously try to understand how to craft our lives to do such a thing. So the three Alvars, through their messages, did this. Now we'll take one passaram from Pudattalvar. He says, now watch carefully. This is the process of living in bliss. This is the process of seeing God. See, it is so complex. This is told in Vedanta. This is what Upanishad says. Alvar has sung that in simple Tamil. See how difficult it is. Why I'm telling you is, after that I will tell you what is the easy way out. But first know how difficult it is. And then understand how God is so wonderful to grace you with the fruit of this, even if you don't do this difficult meditation. How to do this difficult meditation? Buddha Alvar says, this is called Bhakti Yoga. Ande Tagali Yaha ஆர்வமே நெய்யாக இன்பு இருது சிந்தை இடு திரியா நன்பு உரி ஞான சுடர் விளக்கேற்றினேன் நாரணனுக்கு ஞான தமிழ் உரித்த நான். He says, I know ஞான தமிழ், I know how to write poetry, but what I'm going to tell you is like a lamp. It is a lamp which is going to open up your mind. It will tell you how to reach Narayana, how to reach the Lord. And with that, the Lord will be very happy, like as if I lit a lamp for him. Lighting a lamp is a service to the Lord. I'm lighting a lamp of knowledge. What I'm going to tell you, listen carefully. Ande tagali aha. The lamp will have a container. That's called tagali. In this case, he says, you know, what is my tagali? And love. I must have so much love for God. Huh? How will I develop love? Day in and day out, I'm finding he's helping me in all my day-to-day rituals. Then I'll find, yeah, nobody who will help me so much in my life, I really love. So, that much of love he has gathered all these days. So, it's become a big container. Ande tagaliya. In that he pours ghee. Arvame naiya. Arvam, eagerness. See, one thing is knowing I love God. Another thing is I love him so much that I can't live a moment without it. Just imagine if you like someone a lot, like your mother. Huh? If your mother leaves you and goes to office, you start crying, right? Like that. So loving is you also love your papa. But if papa goes to office, it's okay, bye. But if mother goes to office, no, don't go. So both are love, but one is intense love. Okay? Arvam is intensity. It is not that just you love him. I love him so much, I can't live without him. That kind of intensity you have to develop. So first, Anbu, then Arvam, then when the intensity becomes so high, in the Uruhu you melt. What melts? The mind melts. Sindai, Iduhu, Tiriya, that is the wick. When the mind is molten, it becomes the wick. Mother leaves for office, right, and then fully molten body, fully sweating, eating. Like that, the Alvars did not see God. So they cried, when are you coming? When are you coming? Can't you give me a darshan? All day long singing bhajans about him and then reading how other people got darshan, trying to meet other sons, saints. Like this, they spend all their energy in trying to see God. That much of effort we have to put. That becomes the big Nande, Uruhi, because of that the soul melts. I told you yesterday, last class, Krishna stole butter. That was symbolic of what? Our body is a pot. Inside that we are living the soul. The soul melts. Right now it's very hard. What are there? Some God, something, she's lecturing something. So it's not at all melting. Then helps you out, it slightly melt. And again, it helps you out. Fully melt. Oh my God, I can't live a moment without it. The heart is molten. When the heart is molten, can't you please give me darshan? Can't you please give me darshan? Nicely molten, then it becomes like navanita, fresh butter. Your mother makes butter in the mixie. It comes out fresh, it will be soft, really soft. Huh? See that? So when your heart becomes soft like that, God will come, Krishna, put his hand through your mouth, take your heart, your atma, and go away. That is called stealing butter. That is only the Navanita Choda. So the Atma should melt. How does it melt? By going on, realizing him, looking at his qualities. He's so nice, he's so almighty, yet he gets hit by Yashoda. I know, I can't believe it. People who are nothing out here, they are so arrogant. If you don't even ask them to sit, and if you don't welcome them and all that, so I didn't have all these things when I came. What happened? These politicians, they take all these, they show off so much. That God is almighty. He comes and falls at Yashoda's feet to get beaten by her. So when you think of all these things, your heart melts for God. And then when you are in a molten state, He comes and picks you up. That's what He wants of you. This is what Alvar says. You have to contemplate on Him so much that your heart should melt. Just imagine, now you don't know anything about God, you've not experienced Him. To begin now, day-to-day life, experience Him, read the Puranas, Bhagavatas, Ramayana. Rama was so nice to Shabari, Krishna was so nice to Vidura. I should also be a Vidura, I should also be a Shabari. Like this, you have to think, then melt your heart, and then have intense longing for Him. That becomes a thing, and then you can light the lamp. Light the lamp, and you can see God. This is called Parajnana, Parabhakti, Paramabhakti. You must reach the state of Paramabhakti, then you can see the Lord in front of you. Like Dhruva meditated for 6 months, he was standing on one leg finally, and he was not eating anything. Like that, you should have intense feeling. Then you can have Sakshatkara. Once you have Sakshatkara, never ever forget. It's so dazzlingly brilliant. Like that. So, Alvar says, I did that. Can we do that? I don't think so. Not in Kali Yuga. So, what is the way out? Peyalvar, in his 100, tells the way out. He says, the previous, see Peyalvar's slide. The third Alvar, sing 100, the last pasuram he says, don't fret people. You don't have to develop so much devotion and all that. I'll tell you a very easy way. Sarve namakku indru sarve refuge. Now you have to do something, but you're not able to do it. What will you do? Suppose you have to go to school. Your school van has not come today. What will you do? Tell me. If you have to go to school, suddenly school van doesn't come. Then what is that you will do next? Huh? Think and tell. Tell, you know everything now. What will you do if the school van doesn't come for one day? Huh? Catch up. He is very young. He can't go and catch auto. So whom you will have to catch? Father. Yeah. So catch your father. Yeah. Baba, school van is not come. I'm getting late. Please take me to school in time. Huh? You tell them? Otherwise, my teacher would scold me. Huh? You'll be very scared and make you stand outside in the prayer because you come late. So you say, please, I beg you, take me to school in time. Huh? When you're not able to do something, you will catch a person who can do that thing. How will you catch that person? Beg that person. Huh? That is called surrender. Huh? When you go and beg that person, you will be very sure that the person can do it. You will be very sure your father can catch the auto. You won't go to your mother because mother has to dress up and all and come. Huh? She won't come without dressing up outside. You will go to your father. Whatever he's wearing, he'll come out. Right? So why do you choose your father? You choose your father, you're very sure your father will do it. Like that, when you surrender, you choose a person whom you have Maha Vishwasa in, not all and sundry. Okay? Then you choose that person, and then how will you go and ask him? Not that, hey, my school van has not come. No. Oh, my school van has not come. Please, I'm getting late. You fall at his feet also. Right? Otherwise, father will not wake up, wait, let me just read this newspaper and come. No, you can't read newspaper. I'll get late to school. Like that, intensely you have to pray. That is called sadhana. When you cannot do something by yourself, you have to catch hold of a person who will do it. And that person in your mind will be 100% capable of doing it. And when you catch hold of him, how will you catch hold of him? Beg him. Only then you are sure he'll do it. Exactly same thing Peyalvar has taught. See, you cannot do all this meditation and all. Don't worry. Go and catch hold of this Mahalakshmi. He says, who is Mahalakshmi? Vishnu's wife. Yeah, Vishnu's wife. All husbands listen to their wives. Yeah. If they don't listen, they won't get food next day. Right? So they all listen to their wives. So if you want Vishnu to come and show himself to you, what you should do? Go and catch hold of his wife, Mahalakshmi. That's what Peyalvar says. Oh, Tsar Namakka Indrum Chakarathan. If you want that Chakarathan, one who's holding the Sudarshana Chakra, he's very rude person holding chakra and all that. Just don't care about it. Go to this lady. How is she? She is Val Amarumin Imaikum. She is like the lightning. Very radiant. He is like a blue cloud. You've seen the dark clouds? In that suddenly lightning comes. So beautiful to look at. Like that she is. He is like a dark cloud. And then, of course, it's got some good qualities also. Dark cloud means it gives rains. Rains is all nice. It's so nice when it rains, right? So, like that, it gives us all goodness. And she has got one tamare nedunkan. She's got beautiful eyes. What does eyes symbolize? Can you read eyes? Those who have big, beautiful eyes. What does it symbolize? Those who have very sharp eyes means they are very angry people. Tell you secret. You want to know a person is an angry person? Right? Sharp eyes and keep moving. Some people that don't look at children, your eyes don't move at all. And they'll be wide open. Means they're full of peace, full of karuna. You can look at the eye and say it's full of softness. That's why children are so nice to look at. grow older, anxiety, full of fear, whatever emotions you have, it's shown in your eyes. So what kind of eyes she had? Long eyes. And they were like lotus, soft like lotus, she says. Te amarum male. And where does she sit? She sits on a flower. Can you sit on a flower? Flower will get crushed. She's so light. Huh? She's not heavy-headed. Heavy-headed means what? Thinking too much of one's own self. Right? She's not like that. Very simple, down to earth, very nice person, not heavy. Therefore, she can sit on a flower. She always sits on lotus. Such a nice, soft, compassionate person, Mahalakshmi. You approach her. And how do you approach her? Sarva, as your refuge. Don't fall at her feet. Please, please, Mahalakshmi, make sure Vishnu comes. I want to see him. That's the easy way out. Then you don't have to develop devotion, intense devotion. You don't have to do all those things. Very simple. Go and catch hold of Mahalakshmi's feet and say, please, please make your husband come in front of me. Yeah? This is called surrender. This is what Peyalvar taught us. And this is the essence of Vishishtadvaita. So someone said, isn't it unfair? This one person sitting and meditating for many births, and this person just goes to Mahalakshmi and gets a job done. It's like this. In today's world, people stand in queues to pay the electricity bill. Some smart or we are smart, let's sit at home and just pay the electricity bill by pressing one button. Isn't that fair? You can't say that. You didn't know how to pay online. You didn't have that knowledge. That's why you couldn't do it. If you don't have knowledge for buying online tickets, nowadays you can't even have darshan at Tirumala. Huh? All tickets for online. So if you don't have knowledge to book online, you can't even have darshan at Tirumala. So knowledge is power. So you can't say that this person meditated so long, but she got so easily because she had knowledge. Knowledge is power. So if you have the right knowledge and you apply it, you get away easily. This is the concept of Sharanagati, surrender. It came from the days of Alvar. Now this is about the three Alvars. Any questions? Pardon me? Yeah. No, it's not chronological. It's not. You ask her, she's made. And what are you? Yeah, let's all keep it highly interactive. And it's not important to gain knowledge. Please, it's my request, even with the kids, to practice what I'm telling you. Now, come back and tell me next week what you did, what you practiced. Okay? That is more important than simply listening to lectures. I'm very, very sure if you start practicing, you will feel very, very happy. That guarantee I'll give you. But you have to practice. By simply listening, it's not going to happen. Okay, now we go to the next Alvar. Yeah, like now.
You are highlighting the facts as document. What is the best way for you?
Yes, so now we began with saying in every piece of work you do, you have appreciate the role of God. You cannot do any work completely by yourself. We began with that, like it's continuing from previous week's lectures. So in every piece of work you do, you can observe the hand of God. That's one thing. And another, now I taught you this concept of surrender. What is surrender? And process also we have seen by this example. So now, when you are in trouble the next week, surrender and see the words. This is what I want you to try. whatever I teach here, you try in your own way. Surrender like this. Like I said, this boy, his mixie got spoiled. It is locked down. He doesn't know what to do. Then he just, Varada, surrender. Surrender. Please, I do something. I don't know what you will do. All of a sudden, he said, this is a real thing. They all sent emails to me. He said, well, let me just try once more. Please, and put the mixie, and mixie started working. So I don't know how. It started working by itself. Huh? Maybe he had not plugged it in properly or something the first time. But then, you see, his surrender worked. And his daughter was telling me, whenever I lose my specs, I tell Sudarshanashtakam 3 times. By the time I'm telling the third time, I get my specs.
Yeah. So many things that you grow old. You may say something, but you know, you have left it there. To pick it back, say a key or whatnot. Suddenly you start searching the entire territory. Then you give a thinking that something is there for me to have. Something is there. Then I go back and see what I did before losing it. I will be there.
Yeah. That is a scientific approach. Whenever you lose something, sit in a place, go back and trace. Before sitting here, what you were doing. Before that, what you were doing. Before that, what you were doing, you will find. That is a scientific approach of finding whatever you have lost. Huh? Don't start running and looking here, there, you'll never find it. Sit in a place, start tracing back what all you did. But more than that, surrender and see. See, the finding the thing is not an issue. When you when you find that you talk to him, he's listened to you, feel really thrilled. The thrill I can't explain to you. Once I cook something, daily we cook and offer it to God. My husband took everything and offered it to God. I was sitting in the hall. I was thinking what all I could. Suddenly remembered I have not put salt for sambar. And you know, I said I'll put salt. My husband said if you already put it, it'll become double. I said, no, no, I'm very sure God told me I have not put salt. And I put salt. And after that, we tasted it, all of us, it was perfect. It was not double. Like this, every day I have, interactions with him. It's so thrilling. Can you imagine if I had put salt earlier, it would have become double. But I took the full risk. I said, no, he's telling me from inside there's no salt. Like this, he will start talking to you and start talking with him, and it will be really thrilling. So, all this thrill thing which you see here is nothing. That thrill will be so much that all the joys and sorrows here will be nothing. Go to a horror movie, even that thrill will be nothing. This thrill will be great. Huh? Another girl, lady, in so many messages I get like this. Another lady, she used to have her children going for table tennis class, and one day they didn't come. They came half an hour late. She said, it had been earlier, I will run up everybody because they come by cycle. What will happen? She said, half an hour, the child calls and says, Amma, the mobile ran out of charge. I couldn't inform you. I'm sorry, the coach did some extra class for me. She said, I thought of you so much. I have full faith in God. You said, otherwise, by now I would have crumbled. Huh? Like this, in day-to-day life, he'll be interacting with you and you will be thanking him. Like this, your relationship will grow. This is what I mean by practice. Okay. Now we quickly go through the other Alvar. 1 hour is up. We'll take another 15 minutes. I will take. Can I take another 15 minutes? Tirumalisai Alvar was a phenomenal Alvar. Huh? He was a yogi of the first order. He did so many miracles that we can never forget it. He was living for 4,700 years because of his yoga bala. Today they told no, the news there are 120 people in Punjab who are more than 120 years old. Huh? 120 people in Punjab who are more than 120 years old. Still people living like that. Tirumalisai Alvar lived for 4,700 years. If you do yoga, you can live for so long. Then what he did? First 700 years, he studied various other philosophies. He did not come to Vishishtadvaita. He is also called a Nayamar. He is also one of the Nayamars and written many poetries about Shiva. Then he meets Peyalvar. He is doing tapas on the banks of Kairamani Pushkarani, which is near Triplicate. Triplicate is a place in Chennai, Parthasarthi temple. There is a Pushkarani. On the banks of that, Tirumalisai Alvar is in a cave. Forest, now it's all full of houses. He was in a cave doing meditation. These three Alvars, Pudattalvar, Peyalvar, and Poigai Alvar, were traveling together. They saw the status. Who is living in this cave? They went inside. They met Tirumalisai Alvar, and then Peyalvar taught Tirumalisai Alvar all about Vishishtadvaita and God. And Tirumalisai Alvar did a lot of yoga. He had Sakshatkara of Sriman Narayana, all his ayudhas, how he does creation, how people are born according to their karmas. The entire thing which we read, he had vision in front of him like that. God granted him that vision. So, first of all, he was a yogi. Now he became a jnani, well-informed yogi. He had lot of powers. See what happened. These are some interesting stories about him. Shiva and Parvati once came when he was doing meditation. And then they went over him. Then he just ignored them. Normally, when the yogis see Shiva Parvati, they pray. He didn't pray. So Parvati said, let's go down and demonstrate our powers. So he goes, Shiva says, what can I give you? Tirumalisai Alvar says, what can you give me? And he says, okay, I want moksha, can you give me? He said, no, that's given by Narayana, who is the inner controller of all. He can destroy all the karma vasanas. And then he said, if you can't give me that, I don't want anything. Can you just stitch this cloth of mine? Shiva gets angry. He said, how dare you ask me such a thing? So he opens his third eye. Then Alvar opens his eye from the foot, and the two fires clash. And then there is heavy fire in the sky, and then the fire got dissolved. Then Shiva gives him the name Bhakti Sara. You ask me where all this is written, it's called Guru Parampara Sara. In that it has been documented. Tirumalisai Alvar got a name Bhakti Sara because even when the fire was going on and rains were coming, he was busy meditating. So he said, so much of bhakti you have, you're meditating, even when there is fireworks going on around you, I will name you Bhakti Sara. This is one instance. Another instance, there was see, there are actually many creatures in the sky. Kinnarva, Gandharva, we don't see them. Actually, even all around there are so many Shaktis. If you look at the Bhageshwara Sakha channel, you will find this boy, not a boy, he's a great spiritual guru, 27 years old. He sits in one place and tells you what is in your mind when you're far away. 2 days work, we can't see them. Like this, Tirumalisai Alvar felt one Shakti on top. That then he called that Shakti, what do you want? You're sitting in top of me. That boy is called K. Charan, one who is going in the skies. He came down, he said, you're dressed in rags and give you a nice shawl. I feel so bad for you. Tirumalisai Alvar said, okay, give me a shawl. Gives the shawl. Then he just touches the shawl becomes full of rubies and gems. And he gives it back to him. Thank you for being very compassionate, but I don't need that shawl. Like this, he had yogic powers. Okay? And then there was an alchemist. In those days, alchemist is a person who would make iron into gold. There were such people in those days. He came to Alvar. And so I said, can you do this? I heard you're a big yogi. So Alvar just takes the dirt from his ear and converts it into gold and gives it to this alchemist. He says, okay, I agree, you're a big yogi, goes away. All these wonderful things Alvar does. And finally, two incidents I will tell you and stop. Why I want to impress you on all about all this is when you become a yogi of that standard, God will start obeying you. See this. God obeys Alvar. We think God does everything for us. Now, God is also at the beck and call of devotees. So if you want something, you can ask God. Better still, you can go and ask a devotee. Whatever the devotee says, God will listen. Like that story I'm going to tell you now. This Tirumalisai Alvar goes to Kanchipuram. He wants to stay in the birthplace of Poigai Alvar. Well, we all think we should go to temples of gods, no? But what Alvar used to think, we should go to temples where big jnanis live. Poigai Alvar used to live in Kanchipuram, so he went to Kanchipuram. He doesn't go to temples to see God. He goes to temples to feel the vibrations of big jnanis, meditators. So he goes and stays in Kanchipuram, where Poigai Alvar was born. Which temple is that? Yatoktakari, that God will do. In front of that temple, he is meditating. Then he has a servant called Kanikandan. He was also born from Virakal Alva, and there's no time, I'm not telling you all that. This Kanikandan used to look after Alvar's day-to-day requirements. Then there was a lady who used to sweep the temple. She was very old. Kanikandan felt bad for that lady. So he said, you're having a hunch bad. Shall I just give you a small portion? You'll become young. She said, okay, well, thank you so much. So he gives her a portion. She becomes young. Then she goes inside the city. Everybody's looking at her. Wow, so beautiful. So beautiful. The king looks at her. In those days, whomever the king selects, he will marry. He's all powerful. So he said, I'll marry you. And he marries that lady. Then he notices that that lady is not growing old, but he is growing old. Day after day, everybody grows old. But that lady who had that portion from Kanikandan is not growing old. So he asked her, you are my wife. Soon you will look like my second wife. Soon you will look like my third wife, fourth wife. I will become old and you will be young. This is not fair. You tell me why you are not growing more. So she says, this Kanikandan was a person who gave me this. Take me to Kanikandan. He said, you don't go. I asked Kanikandan to come. So she goes and said, the king is calling you. Come to the Tirumalisai Alvar. Come. Nobody will come. Go tell your king. We don't do things for the king. We do things only for the God. So she gets really amazed. She goes, Pallava, I am such a powerful king. You're telling like that. Yeah, I don't care. More powerful is my God. Then she goes and tells the king. The king says, ban him. Send him out of Kanchi. So then Alvar says, I have to go leave the place? No problem. Kanikandan, you also come. We'll also go. And he tells God, God, he's sleeping like this on his right hand, like Ranganatha. He tells him, Kanikandan Poginran. Kanikandan is leaving. Kamaru Gachi Manivanna, ni Kidakka Vendam. You don't sleep like this. You also come with me. Tumuடைய சென்ன புலவனும் போகின்றான். This Pulavan poet is also going. நீயும் உன் பைனா அப்பைய சுருட்டிக்கொள். You're sleeping on Adiseshan, no? That Adiseshan, you ask that Adiseshan to fold up. You and Adiseshan come with me. Those days there used to be something called hold on. Huh? Whenever you go, you carry the hold on like this on your shoulders. Then when you go to a place where you have to sleep, you open the hold on and sleep into that hold on. It's like a mattress. This Adiseshan was like the hold on. So he said, Adiseshan, just that serpent bed, just wind yourself up and I'll put you on my back. All of us, let's leave Kanchipuram. So Alvar, Kanikandan, and God leaves Kanchipuram. This is a real story. He goes to a place called Or Irikkai. Or Irikkai stayed for one night. It's still there. It is the Samadhi of Periva, Peri Shankaracharya. Still in Kanchipuram. This temple is still there in Kanchipuram. Now, he goes to Or Irikkai, and then what happens here? Since God has left Kanchi, complete darkness. All owls start screeching. All bad omens come. The king gets scared. Okay? He goes to Or Irikkai. falls at the feet of Alvar and says, please come back. I'm very sorry for what I did. So Alvar says, okay, now he sings. Kanikannan Pogin Pokoindan. Kanikannan is going to return to Kanchipuram. This Pulavan also was going to return. Niyum un painahappai paduttukkol. Open your hold on and sleep in that. Come with us, he says. God comes back. God comes back and the same temple. He was sleeping like this first. Now he's sleeping like this. You will always find the reclining God is sleeping on the right hand. In Yatoktakari temple alone, God is sleeping on his left hand. This is a evidence that he got up and went with Alvar and came back and reclined on the other side. So from then he got the name Yata Uttakari. Whatever he is told, he will do. But he will say, whatever we say, he will do. No, we should be like Alvar. We should really love him. We should live for him, have devotion. Then whatever you say, we will obey. Nice story. What's your name?
What about
He's on the right side only. Right side only. Left is very, very rare. Yatoktakari son, this temple, this particular temple, when Alvar asked God to come with him to Oririkai, yes, it is in Kanchipuram. It is in Little Kanchipuram. Yatoktakari, Yatoktakari. In Tamil, Sonna Vandam Seidu Permal. You can go and see. There's a lot of Puranas behind that also. When God obeys Tirumalisai Alvar, so beautiful, a great yogi. And then when he goes to the outskirts of Kumbakonam, this God there is called Sarangapani. He's also lying down. He starts moving towards the direction of Alvar. Like if you have a magnet and if you keep an iron, it will start moving towards the magnet, right? So Alvar was having high magnetic energy. God was moving. People around, what is this? God is moving. Alvar has come to some temple. He's there. He's going around for Bhiksha. So God here is moving. He wants to see Alvar. So they all bring him to Sarangapani temple. This is a real story, this also. And when he comes to Sarangapani temple, Alvar tells God, Kaviri Karai Kudandayul Kidandavar எழுந்திருந்து Pesu. He tells God, you are lying down happily on the Kaveri Karai. I have come all the way to see you. Why can't you get up and talk to me? Somebody comes to the house. Will you be lying down like that when they come to the house? You'll get up and say, please welcome, welcome. So, come all the way from Kanchi to Kumbakonam. You don't even care for me. You're just lying down like this. Then he said, get up and speak. So immediately God gets up. Really, he gets up. So Alvar says, you don't get up, don't get up. He says, relax. He said, Vari Keshani, thanks for trying to get up. May all good come to you. So, who was sleeping like this? He's sleeping like this. You go to Sarangapani temple in Kumbakonam, he's not lying down flat, nor is he fully up. He's like this. Halfway through, 45 degrees. They can still see in Kumbakonam. Like this, Alvar used to talk with God and God used to respond to him. And he lived all his life in Kumbakonam and then went to Srivaikuntham. He's left for us two important prabandhas, Nanmugam Tiruvandadi and Tiruchanda Virutham. These are all wonderful poems that Alvar says, oh God, I am not there without you. That is well known. You are inside me only, I exist. But I'll tell you one thing, you are also not there without me. He tells God. He says, why? How can there be a Swami if there is no disciple? Can there be a Guru if there are no students? I'm sitting here, there are no students. I can't call myself Guru there. If there is a king, there should be Praja, there should be people to obey him. If there is nobody to obey him, there is who is the king? You're sitting all alone, you can't be a king. So he says, if there are not disciples like me, where will you become the God? If I'm not there, you're also not there. He sings lovely poetry like this. He's got lots of guts. He's got his Sudarshan Alvar's Usha. So, and he's done lots of miracles. I have not told you anything much. Uh, anyway, you can look all of them up on Alvar, about Alvars. There's a wonderful site, kobi.org, done by Shreyas Varman. Pranams to him. Excellent website on in English. It gives the details of 4,000 as well as Alvar's life stories. Extremely nice. My pranamams to Sriram Bharati also, who has sung all these in Raga and Thala, whom I have learned from his wife. And I used his book. I have given some slides from his book. He has translated all the 4,000 into English. Sriram Bharati. That book is also available. So you can make use of these books to know more. But in our sessions, we have this most important last slide. What we understood from all this, without the help of God, we cannot do anything. In Sanskrit, it is told, Tena vina trinamapina chalati. Even a blade of grass does not move without him. You experience it in your life in this week. You want something to be done, and you approach him, you see how it is done. If you're very confident they will do something, when you go there, suddenly you're not able to do it, then you realize God is poking his nose. Then say, please don't poke your nose, please allow me to do. Then he allows you to do. That also you come, you record that experience, keep a diary, write it, and then come and tell me next week. Another thing we learned, now God is under the control of a jnani. How he listens to Alvar, he says, get up and welcome me. He gets up. Come with me to Orinite, he comes. So like this, God himself is told in Bhagavad Gita, jnani tu atmaiva me matan. A jnani is my atma. I fully obey a jnani. And he is my supporter only because great devotees like Alvar are that I exist. Otherwise, I don't exist at all. Right? So therefore, he listens to these jnanis completely. So if you want something, go and tell your father, go and tell your acharya, go and tell someone who's very close to God. He will recommend you. He'll recommend whatever you want to God and see that it is done. That's how we all do surrender. We go to our acharya who's very close to God, and through him we approach God. So if we approach directly, we are not very sure he will listen to us. So we go through a jnani. That also you can try out. If you say God is not listening, go and ask your father to recommend. Go and ask some guru whom you know who is close to God. Go and ask them to recommend your prayers to God and see that it is fructified in no time. That's why we go down to elders, we go down to gurus, all that, because God himself listens to all these bhaktas and jnanis. These are two during this week, and we pray to the acharyas that they give us this experience of the transcendental. कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः श्रीमते निगमान्तमहादेशिकाय नमः श्रीमते गोपालदेशिकमहादेशिकाय नमः श्रीमते अनन्तरङ्गमहादेशिकाय नमः. That is, thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, that is, if anybody is interested online, we will keep it open. And then the floor is open to audience to interact.
If there are any questions in the chat box. I'm very happy the children have come. Huh? You understand something? You understand something little bit? What do you understand? Tell. One small thing you understand. I'm so happy you brought children here. You like it? Like it? How do you like it? Hmm? Any questions?
Anybody in the audience, you can also interact and you like to clarify? You are most welcome.
This is continuous process. Myself have grown this stage thanks to all these people. I was all alone, maybe to full force. I can tell you, I'm far more confident than what I was 2, 3 years back. Thanks to this community that we have, they all echo my thoughts. Whatever I share, what is in the Vedanta only, I'm sharing. But then they come back and tell me, yes, it worked. And I store all those messages and emails like treasure. Every now and then I look at them. My own experiences are in my diary, but those experiences also I look. See, the mind is so fickle. The moment you are out, you will be drawn by the material world. So you cannot even for a second think of the Lord. God says you are nothing. You carry a lamp on your head and go around this mountain. Tell me how many times you told Narayana. But if you drop the lamp down, I will cut your head. So Narada keeps the lamp on his head and he's very careful. The lamp is full of oil, should not spill. Step by step, he's walking around the mountain. Oh my God, I forgot to tell Narayan. I was thinking of the lamp. Like this, when we are involved in our day-to-day life, we can't even tell Narayana once. Even so, he says that farmer who's working all day long before sleeping, he says, Narayana, he is a greater devotee than you, Narada. He says, point is, if you have to think of God, you need friends, you need community, you need to be in satsang. That's called satsang, good company. When you're in good company, you'll keep getting reminded about God. That's all. On your own, it is difficult. Moment you go and say, I have to go to this place, I have to eat, I have to sleep, I have to iron my clothes, I have to get ready for Monday morning. All these things will come in your mind. You will never think of God. You will not think of these, whatever lecture I told you, will not think of Tirumalisai Alvar, you will not think of Peyalvar, Pudattalvar, Poigai Alvar. Right? So, always be in satsang, good company. Somebody will send you, you know what? As that man was telling this miracle happened to me, and they will say, then you'll get reminded about God. And so this also happened to me. Like this, when you have interactions, personally, past 2, 3 years, my confidence in the times and title has grown exponentially. I've been practicing for 30 years, but I have not found that much growth in myself as I found in these 2, 3 years. So that is why I introduce this practice and sharing your experience. You share your experience, you get more and more confidence in the transcendent. Even if you don't experience yourself, you gain lots from others' experiences. And therefore, please do try to experience by appealing to God for small things, or by appealing to a guru and getting some things done, and come and share with in our community so that we all grow together and experience our most beloved God.
But we end up any question we ask anything.
Do you agree with what I say? Let me ask you a question myself. Do you agree with what I say? Why do you agree with what I say? If you agree. Why do you think what I'm saying is correct?
Some inner truths we can get. Inner truths are very difficult to find. We believe in something, we go forward. But before we reach the end point, we will not be knowing the inner truths. We will be very blind. That blindness, we have to take it out. We have to unmask that blindness. For that, we need a path, and this is one very good path.
And why you should have faith in this? I tell you why. I'm not a person who will have faith so easy. So I was thinking, I also read a book and got convinced. Then I was thinking, we believe so much in science. Some Edison somewhere did an experiment and they write in your physics book and NCRT publishes it. You say, yes, yes, it is correct. Some historian somewhere tells that Akbar was at this date. You say all that is correct. What I am telling you is from the Vedas. These Vedas, so many rishis have experienced, and a little bit you are experiencing yourself. Ayurveda, Jyotishya, all these are parts of Vedas which you are experiencing in your day-to-day life. Therefore, Veda has to be correct. This is how I am convincing myself. That is why what has been told in Upanishads is correct. What is being told in Upanishads only Alvars are telling in Tamil. Okay? That is one reason why you can trust me. I am not saying anything on my own. I am only telling what is given by the Upanishads and what is given by the Tamil translation, Tamil gist of the Upanishads. Therefore, it should be correct. If you believe in NCRT books, you should believe in this also. Yeah. See, there is one important understanding to have. Experiences that are pleasant and unpleasant are good for us. That is a basic understanding we should have. Even unpleasant experiences are good for us. You agree? Huh? Why?
That's what I heard, and I started thinking. So the past karma will meet you, Punya and Papa. So if I have unpleasant experiences, I tend to think of it as washing away my Papa. Somehow Papa from this school.
But practically speaking,
So that when you have the present experiences, you cherish them. When you have unpleasant experience, you're sad. And then that's when you start to value the better days of the water. Otherwise, you don't tend to value the.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. And what is the thing that you like to learn max now? Not psychology, more than psychology, more than relationships. What is that after these 2 days of lecture? What do you think you learn max? Most urgent need being in the human, connect with God. So the best experience for you is connecting with God. When you are having an unpleasant experience, there is a good chance that you will connect with God. When you're having a pleasant experience, you may not connect with God. You will be drowned in your experience. That's why Kunti says in her sloka that, "Oh Krishna, give me only sorrows." That is the last sloka in Kunti Stotra. So that every time I get sorrows, you give me darshan. I have your darshan, therefore give me only sorrows. Kunti says. So unpleasantness is a path to the Lord, to experiencing the Lord. Therefore, both unpleasant and pleasant experiences are good for us. Good in the sense that we are looking for experiencing Him. That's why it is good for us. What happens to the people who are affected by war, whether they experienced Him or not, it's up to the individual soul. He will know, the soul will know. But in general, God will not do anything to harm a soul. It's like this: you have kittens at home, you have puppies. Will you do anything to hurt them? You do everything to pamper them, right? We are like kittens and puppies to them. He has been seeing us through so many births. So he's extremely compassionate. So he will never ever think of harming a soul. If he is giving these experiences, it must be for the benefit of the soul. It will be unpleasant for some time, but it will do the soul good. That is the consolation we have to have. That doesn't mean I'm saying that we should not help them or we should not try to stop the war. In our own ways, we should do that. But we can be very sure God will not harm any soul. Like we don't harm puppies and kittens. This is the emotion I have towards God, that He will not harm me, He will not harm anybody. And I have really experienced it in my life. It's up to us to find out how that experience, helps us. If we don't do that, God is not there. I prayed so much to Him, He let me down. People start believing less in God when they get unpleasant experiences. That is a wrong thing. If you are not able to figure out how this experience is good for you, go to a guru and find out how this experience is good for you. Many people do that. They come and ask me, Shashireka, she booked tickets for going to Melkote, Panguni, everything. Suddenly her daughter landed up from UK. She couldn't go anywhere. She said, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I said, don't feel very bad. He wants you to have more love for him and then you go to him next year. I said, no, in that time I started reading about Acharyas. I said, see, that's why he didn't want you to come there. Getting close to Acharya is more important than getting close to him. So if you're not able to find out what is good in that experience, go to somebody else. They will find it. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes if you're very much involved in the material world and he wants you to look at him also, he'll poke you with some unpleasantness. Then you will, oh my God, please help me and go to him. Like that. But all us are good. Even dandanam api daya karyam. Even punishment is a daya, is out of compassion. That you can be 100% sure.
Regarding the body was acceptance, giving aside spirituality, God, and other things. Today's world order is a very, very different world. It is in such a way that geopolitical situations have disappeared. And people who are at war is not just started with one day.